What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, a show dedicated to talking about all the progress things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I am Michael.
Michael,
that's me, yeah.
Agent Michael Smarn.
That's what my grandmother calls me when she's mad.
Dang.
Just kidding. My grandmother's never mad
Dang.
at me.
Don't disappoint your grandmothers out there, okay? What's up, man?
Dude, I'm like sleepy today. I don't know. I don't know why.
Sweepy.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Been grinding out, making more progress on the video.
Nice. I'm so excited for this, bro.
Dude, I mean, it's only been like a year that I've
Yeah.
But dude, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for a sponsor. I tweeted the other day.
I saw at Ground News.
Yeah.
I know, dude. It feels like they've been doing everybody, so it would be so perfect. It's just like, who do you have to know to get in the? Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I just feel like tweeting at them, saying I want to work with them. It's like if they don't, it can't possibly be that like I just don't have a. I don't know. Dude, this whole fucking influencer business thing, I hate so much because genuinely no one knows really what they're doing unless you are one of those companies that specifically is like the middleman between sponsors.
Yes, and that's the thing. Yep.
Which is a major like pain in the ass sometimes to deal with,
for sure.
And you know, it's just like a layer of obfuscation where you're like, am I getting fucked? Like you just don't know.
Yep.
And it's like,
and sometimes like brands only want to work that way, and then sometimes brands like don't like working that way. And so it's like you as the creator, you're left wondering like, how do I approach this? You know what I mean? Some brands are super hand off. They just hand the middlemen companies hundreds of thousands of dollars and say, spend it, get us clicks. And some like to do it more like bespoke and one-on-one. And it's just impossible. I've been trying to get a friggin' pizza sponsorship for 6 years, dude. No one will have me.
Yeah, I think, that's an atrocity.
But I'm excited the video's coming along.
Yeah, I feel like I just always end up, because I don't just want any sponsor. You know, I don't just want to raid, like there's nothing wrong with like Raid Shadow Legends. I just don't want
Thunder.
Just anything. I want it to be relevant. I want it to be something that I think is like good.
Yep.
And so yeah, I'm in this weird limbo where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And the last 3 videos have, and it's like I feel like talking to companies, I don't know if they're not like, it's just really hard to convince them of like what your value is, because I don't know what my value is.
Yeah.
All I know is that my long form videos have been doing very well.
Yep.
And out of the last like 7 videos I've done, 3 of them have been the really long form ones. The Chandler Halderson, the Flat Earth, and the Billy Mitchell.
Yep.
There were a couple of things sprinkled in between, some Tarkov arena things and one like sponsored thing that I did. That got like 20, 30, 40,000 views or whatever, nothing really major. But between the 3 long form videos, it's over 3.5 million views.
Yep.
With no sponsors. And it's like, if they were like, we'll give you $2,000, I probably would say yes. And someone tells me that would be, I'd be getting underpaid.
Yeah.
But I just don't know, right? Because like, I don't know what kind of views this video is going to be. Like they don't know. And I don't know if they do deals, if anyone ever does deals where it's like, I feel like the right way to do it would be like, okay, for the next 6 months or whatever, like we'll pay you like $1,000 now, And then
Yep.
for every, 100,000 views or whatever, we'll give you X dollars, like something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than me be like, I want $10,000, and then the video gets 11 views.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I scammed them, right? Or I say, give me $1,200 and it gets 10 million views, and it's
Yeah.
like I get fucked.
Yep. Yep.
I just hate this
Yep.
this space, dude. I fucking hate.
the whole thing, bruh. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And dude, I'm the same way. I've done the least amount of like sponsored stuff on YouTube. Like sponsored streams and stuff, that's easy. Like it's so much easier to like break down and comprehend in the analytics. But yeah, it's like I try weird things all the time on my YouTube channel. And sometimes I do a long form video that gets 1 million views. Sometimes I do a long form video that gets 1,100 views. Sometimes a highlight video pops off and gets 80,000 views. Sometimes it gets 9,000 views. And it's like, it's just so hard. And that inconsistency, I guess at my size just makes it so, yeah, it's, I guess, risky, or it's just hard to nail down. And so I don't really ever get like offered for stuff like that either.
Yeah, it's bizarre because like so many of the channels I watch, they do regular content, but they might get like 20 or 20,000 views, let's say, on a video like once a week, and it's consistent.
Yeah,
and it's like they've got these major companies that are sponsoring them. It's like,
yeah,
and are they like that worried that they're not gonna get their money back if they give me a few $1,000s? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to find another company to like rep me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, more like a YouTube focused thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't want sponsors for my sponsors for the stream or anything more than like what I've already got. I don't need it to look like a fucking NASCAR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, in the process of going through this stuff, holy fuck. Like, oh God. It's so funny because a big part of wanting to do a video on basically how like the dead internet plus social media equals humanity hating humanity. And like my mental health hitting a low, a year ago, to the point where I'm like, I just need to fucking talk about what's going on and what I'm seeing as a problem. Yeah. So then I take a year of like having to stick my head deeper into the pool. Brother, my fucking Twitter.
Like
I was gonna tweet something. I spent like 20 minutes like composing a tweet that I just ended up not sending. And this is why I'm not an optimal content creator, because like I don't want impressions. I don't want engagement. I want to like get a message out there that I feel like is important. But it's like, it's not about money, and it's not about getting clicks, and it's not about followers. It's like, so I just don't have the mindset for it, and I don't care, because I can still do it. But yeah, I went through last night, and of the 25 posts in my home feed, the 25 first posts, oh man, I don't remember. I was taking notes. I'll do it from memory. There were like 11 of them was some fucking alien UFO bullshit. Just batshit crazy alien UFO nonsense. 11 of 25. Now, I've engaged with one or two of these things, and every time I've been like, stop being crazy. This is not a thing. You know what I mean? It's like, how good is your algorithm that, you've shown me 10,000 of them. I interacted with one, and now you're showing me 20,000. It's like, there were like 4 about a recent mass shooting. There were 3, I think, that were like just straight up either like violence or like seeing like a car accident. Like heavyr.com, like it's, someone smashing into a fucking car with like an 18-wheeler and like running I'm sure like flattening the family inside of it. So I'm just like scrolling, and it's like, oh, someone died. Oh, okay, someone's getting shot by the police.
Aliens.
Oh, look, a soccer clip. Great. Oh, wait, they get in a fist fight in the soccer game. Fuck. Keep scrolling. Oh, okay, it's tennis. Maybe it'll be a highlight. Nope, it's two women screaming at each other after a match. Scroll, baseball. Thank God, baseball. The guy gets beamed, charges the plate, fist fight. It's like everyone's dying.
Yep.
There's aliens are coming, and we need to be violent to everybody.
Yeah.
And we wonder why everything is the way it is, bro.
Yep. And you're just like basically stirring the algorithmic pot by like trying to like get into these communities and like understand them so that you can help inform the video and the script you're making. And it's just like, oh, you want more of this?
Yeah, and see, like, and the response, I know someone's already typed and they've already hit send comment, and they will hopefully be a little bit embarrassed enough to go delete the comment after.
Yeah.
But you know, the response that I always inevitably get is like, as if this is like a response is like that I need to go touch grass. It's like, first of all, I'm researching this stuff, but second of all, me touching grass, that just puts blinders on in front of what's a problem.
Yeah.
What I'm bitching about is not, oh my God, I'm so inconvenienced, I don't want to see this stuff. It's holy fuck. It's a
layer deeper than that.
What are these platforms doing? Because I am a critical thinking, skeptical, fucking graduate level educated white guy living in, you know, affluent New England town. I'm the best possible position to handle this kind of shit. And it like takes a toll on me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if I was like, you know, maybe high school educated, you know, farmer from fucking Illinois or whatever, you know, blue collar.
Yeah.
And then you see all this stuff and you don't know what's fake. You don't know what's real. You don't even know that you don't know what's fake or what's real. You just see it and you go, wow, oh my God, that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
And then there's the kids, and then there's the fucking elderly at this point that are on, you know, like my dad's generation and older, because they're all on it.
Lobster Jesus is coming to say.
Fuck, holy shit. Lobster Jesus is here. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like, it's a dystopian hellscape. And
it is funny how, like, interestingly enough, it does feel like the algorithms are often like showing you, and there's layers to this, but like the actual opposite of what you want to see. And then there's like one side of the aisle that would say, well, you're your algorithm, man. Like, they're only showing you stuff you want to watch. And then the other side of the aisle goes, you know, like the two extremes are that guy who it's like, you're your algorithm. And then the other extreme is it's conspiracy, man. They're trying to like brainwash us and whatever. But the feeling is that it's always showing me the exact opposite of what I want to see. And so it's like my timeline, like I check Twitter a lot more on my computer when, like, after a wipe, right? Because like they're, especially this wipe, like they're constantly like tweeting updates. And so like I'm checking it. And it's always like, to me, what I see, it's like, it's not violence or aliens. It's always just like stuff that I'm so annoyed that people care about. Like, I don't care about it, but I get so mad that people care about it. Like, I opened up Twitter and it was somebody's opinion on XQC's opinion about Mr. Beast's opinion about a Rolling Stone like thing, right? And so it's like, how many layers deep I am? You know, it's like they put out like a top influencers, and then Mr. Beast crashes out about it, and then XQC crashes out about how people are reacting to Mr. Beast crashing out, and then the way I see it is the person reacting to XQC crashing out, and I'm just like,
and then the chat reacting to him.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? This is so many layers deep. It's crazy.
And the sad thing is that you just said 7 layers, and at no point in any of the 7 layers is there actually like a normal voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly. And
like, they're all fucking brain dead.
Exactly. And so it's like, I'm not going to sleep at night being like, I can't believe, you know, Mr. Beast said that, or they put him there on the list. I'm going to sleep going like, I can't believe people are like engaging with the opinion on the opinion of the Rolling Stone opinion. Like, any of it matters. And so that's always the thing. It's always just like stuff that I can't believe people get upset about. But then that's me getting upset at them getting upset about it. And so I check Twitter, and then 3 seconds I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I close the tab. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the problem is that people will equate. They'll say that what you're doing is the same as what he's doing, and it's not.
It's not.
It's not. You are the like meta self-aware, like, guys, what the fuck is going on? When everyone else is like tunnel visioned in on the thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same, right? It's not the same kind of outrage.
It feels like the classic movie trope of like, if you get locked in a loony bin, the only rational way to act makes you feel like you belong there. Like you start panicking because you're like, hey, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. And they go, yeah, you're not crazy, right? It's that thing where it's like, I feel like I'm looking around and I'm like, what's going on here? But then to the onlooker, everybody's going, what's going on here? Because Mr. Beast is like, what's going on here? This list is fucked up. And then XQC's like, what's going on here? People are so mad at this. And then this person's like, what's going on here? Why does XQC still have opinions? And they just see me as going, what's going on here? Why does anybody care? But it's not. I'm like, I do feel like elevated. I'm above it. And I'm just going like, what? We got to stop this. We got to stop this. But it only ever feels to an onlooker like I'm just like participating in it. And it's stressful.
Yeah. And I did a deep dive into like fucking the literal Twitter algorithm was published. That was published in 2023. I'm just gonna, like, for the sake of this whole thing, I'm gonna assume that it's largely the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I can answer the question of what are they showing us? It's really seriously quite simple. It's just a giant funnel where they take like and they do this, I want to say like 6 billion times a day. They are individually generating feeds every time you hit refresh, and I think it's like 5 or 6 billion.
That's crazy.
Feeds a day they're generating. And they basically collect, like, let's say 10,000 candidate tweets, and it goes through a number of different machine learning, things, but effectively what they do is, based on all the stuff you have done before, when I say stuff, it's what they do is they determine with a black box, trained machine learning algorithm, what is the likelihood that you will do one or more of these 10 things. And each of those 10 things, they have a weight attached to them.
Okay.
So, like, if something's twice as important as another thing, it'll like multiply by 2, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's favoriting a tweet, retweeting, replying, clicking on their profile, like click on their avatar, their username, watching a playback of a video that I think is like 30 seconds or longer. If you reply to it and that reply is engaged by the author.
Okay.
Which is like that's the biggest weight. So like that's 75.
Yeah.
Favorite is 0.5. So like getting the author to engage with you is that's basically saying like the algorithm takes that as you are really invested in this if you were able to get the
that makes sense
author. And there's a few other things there's a negative weight, a negative 74 weight to if you are like not interested, like I'm not interested in this post.
Yeah.
And then if you report it, it's negative 369. Nice.
69? 369.
And all of that, and this is Twitter's source code, by the way. Essentially, the formula is the sum of all the weights The weight of engagement, I, times the probability of engagement. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's how fucking likely are you to do
one of those things.
all of these things? And then they literally take all the things and they go and it spits out a number. And then they just order it descending and go, oh, you want to scroll down? Oh, you're going to keep scrolling down? And they just give you in order.
Wow.
So it's and here's the thing, like there's no brainwashing, there's no intentional nefarious. They just want you to fucking click and type and respond and tweet, and they don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
That's it. It's completely blind.
For sure.
Like corporate, like we want you to use the product. They don't care if humans were different.
Yeah.
The algorithm would end up being different.
Yeah.
The problem is that if you think about, there's a spectrum of emotions. You feel like there's an injustice happening.
Yeah.
And something needs to be done over here. Over here, oh my God, it's the cutest puppy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want to hug it.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, it's, I don't know what this is and I don't care.
Yep.
Where along the spectrum do you think you're the most likely to engage?
Well, the injustice. But what I was going to say was that remember that video? I forget what it was called, but that video, I sent it to you and you watched it. And he was talking about the political horseshoe. And then he like redid everything with the content horseshoe. And it's like.
Is that the one you sent me recently?
No, not the one like the other day. This was like weeks ago. We talked about it.
I remember.
But yeah, like the concept of the political horseshoe is that like the further to the extremes, the more similar they get. So instead of thinking about it like this, you think about it like a horseshoe where like you get farther and farther apart. And then like the more extreme you get, the more kind of similar you are. And he kind of erased, left or right or whatever and did like content. And he was like cringe and awe inspiring. And the farther extreme you get into like cringe or horrific or injustice and awe inspiring, beautiful and amazing, they both are closer together in that they are more likely to elicit a response. And there's probably subdivisions where like you're much more likely to comment on something that's like gross or injustice or whatever, or argue, but you're probably much more likely to like watch a video multiple times, like let a thing replay if it's like funny or amazing or like awe-inspiring, which once again, like you said, to the algorithm, it's just things. It's just points. Essentially, it's a game. It's just adding points numbers and then multiplying it. And so the content horseshoe is, the things are starting to come together. It's just really anything that's going to get you to engage. And engagement isn't just clicking or typing. It can be watching something. It could be hanging out. It could be just checking their profile to see if they're a real person. You might, check their profile for X reason, but then it goes, hey, you clicked on their profile. That's plus 75 points. And we're going to show you more of this shit. And that's how you end up.
Me trying to find like MAGA bots constantly opening up their profile. Guess what my fucking home feed looks like?
Yeah.
It's literally aliens with MAGA hats. It might as well be my fucking home feed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
But see, the thing is that like I agree with you conceptually. The problem is that like with that whole horseshoe thing is that I just don't think that they are emotionally even comparable in terms of weighting.
Mm-hmm.
And also in terms of the weighting in the algorithm.
Yeah.
You're more likely to favorite and retweet something that was like a baseball highlight.
Yeah,
like I did
something funny or awesome, or hey, my friend's wife is pregnant or whatever.
So that is 1.5 is like the cumulative total. Okay. Now, if I reply because someone posts some racist shit and then I'm like, oh my God, you shouldn't blah, blah, blah. And then they respond and they're like, you're just a beta cuck. I have now gotten not 1.5 is my score. I've gotten 88.5.
Yeah.
Yeesh. 88 to 1. And I'm more likely to want to engage, just all things being equal,
yeah,
with something that makes me
Yeah.
mad or anxious or, you know, the stuff you agree with, at least for me,
Yeah.
because I don't know, I it's hard to say. I just can't know. I want to feel like my experience is more common,
Yeah.
but sometimes people will say like, oh well, you're like an outlier and people aren't, not everybody's like you, and that, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, okay. But then other times I'm like, try to explain my experience and how, like, if I compare it to what I see from other people's experiences, I feel like an outlier.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I just don't know, right? Like, I don't have a fucking lens
For
into
sure.
what the world is. Um, but like, I I've always just found like certain things. There's certain things I can like get into and I understand, but other times it's like a little cringy. And in some ways, it's like the like tribalism that comes from like sports
Yeah.
and like chants and I'll like people being like defense,
Yeah.
defense. I'm like, I don't know why. I'm sorry, but that's just so fucking cringe to me.
That's funny.
You know, if someone hits a sick shot, I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'll be excited.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna like paint a sign and hold it up, and I'm not. It just feels like
Yeah.
I'm playing into they want me to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I see like a cute little puppy post, I'll watch the video, I'll show my wife, and then my wife, and then I'll just scroll.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got what I got out of it. I'm not gonna be the type of person that's gonna go, oh my god, the dog's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why, like genuinely, why would anyone type that?
They do. I know the answer to the question of why though.
I don't get it. I'm not gonna like yuck your yum.
Yeah.
Like if you like to, but like if I'm going to type something, it's not to like drive by, leave a thing, and walk away. It's because I want someone to hear what I have to say, and or I want to engage in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can never be like the kind of person that's just gonna leave OMG, so cute, love it, as if it's like my grandmother's Facebook.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the Feigen or whatever the fuck their name is that I need to block at this point. The Figgin, whatever. You know, like she's not reading my OMG so cute response. Yeah. So like, but if I see some shit that's like, you know, that offends my foundational like principles, I'll want to tweet about it and make a statement and whatever. Sure. And people don't like it, and good, like literally block me. I don't fucking care if you don't if you don't want to hear what I have to say. Like, listen, you don't have to hear it. You don't have to want to hear it. I'm not gonna not do it.
Yeah.
I've got a microphone. I've got a platform. I'm gonna use it. If you don't like it, there's other soapboxes that you can go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely with you that I think you're more likely to engage in the things that weigh the most on that scale for things that you dislike or disagree with or want to argue about, which is very exploitable, right? You have accounts that post stuff just because it's ridiculous. And then you get people that don't understand it's ridiculous that tweet about it. And then you get the people that like can't help themselves but to be like, you guys know this is fake, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's like, there's like an underground subgenre of like AI content it's like supposed to look cringe so that people feel like they have to be like, everybody knows this is AI, right? And it's like they're just getting trillions of impressions because like you said, now you're 80 times more likely to whatever to see their next post or whatever because you commented, and then those people can just like go through and comment on everybody's post. You're like, you can like hijack their algorithm that way. Oh, dude, I guess I'm just putting that together. So if I'm the author and you comment and then I comment on your comment, you're much more likely to see my content in the future?
I don't know if I'll be much more likely to see content that...
Gotcha.
That like, how do I even explain it? Like, picture the black box.
Yeah.
If you take your content and put it in the black box, it'll spit out, like a number.
Yeah.
712. Like, it's just an arbitrary, like, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're constantly talking about the same things, whether it's politics or sports or whatever, it tends to be like those. It's almost like tags. Like, remember the old YouTube tags?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So imagine if someone does a, hashtag MLB, and you respond to something, they respond to something else to a post that has hashtag MLB. They're more likely to see your post if you're posting.
Yeah.
Hashtag MLB, but the hashtag stuff is a little bit different. But
so that's
you get what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not a guarantee, but it is a good way. Like, if you were like trying to farm impressions, that you could do that, right? You could post shit that is like cringe and pisses people off, and you get a couple thousand people to comment about how cringe it is. And then if by you commenting on all of those posts with even just like a single word or just like, nah, fam, it's legit, to every single one, you're like hijacking their timeline, because now they got the author to respond, and now they're much more likely to see the type of content you're making. And as long as you keep making more of that rage bait content, you can just basically like hack a couple thousand people's algorithm by baiting them into commenting and then responding to that comment. And then the cycle continues.
Dude, I've got a few examples. Unfortunately, the one I had, and I wrote the script and all the stuff, and I have all the replies and everything all linked and everything, and I was going to put it together literally this morning, and the author deleted the tweet.
Oh no.
And it was the Figgin, whatever, whoever the fuck they are. But they shared, and I love how it's always like, it's the same like 47 videos.
Yeah.
Just rehashed over and 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 over again.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this new viral video? Why is it in 240p?
Yeah.
Like, something tells me this wasn't a new viral video that just came out.
Yep.
But what it was basically like a night's sleep, as if like there was a camera looking at a bed with a husband and wife, and it's like sped up.
Yeah.
It's almost like a time lapse where you see like, the 8 hours in like 30 seconds, and the woman's like on the floor, rolling over the husband, sheets are off the bed, she's like on her hand, it's like just absurd and ridiculously stupid, right? And what you have is you get the responses that are, I'm surprised she didn't end up on the floor herself. Cry, laugh emoji, cry, laugh emoji. I am laughing so hard now, I am crying. I can't imagine him going through this every night. They need to get either a king-size bed or have separate beds. Cry, laugh emoji, cry, laugh emoji, cry, laugh emoji. OMG. Or it's rare I actually lol. This got me. Cry, laugh emoji. Like, okay, thank you for sharing.
Lol. Yeah.
Or you have, oh my God, without her consent, you filmed her. How dare you?
That's funny.
And then bullshit. 1, she rolls on the bed, bad, doesn't fall from it. 2, she rolls on the bed from top to bottom, but makes sure to keep her leg bent so it doesn't hit him. 3rd, she makes sure to not hit his face. 4th, when she throws him out of the bed, he moves his arm to fake the impact. And then, this definitely isn't fake. Some people really are like this. I myself have completely fallen off the top bunk with a blah, 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 blah. And then finally you have someone like me who wants to reply to say, you're all fucking crazy. You're all bots or you're brain dead. What's going on here?
Yep. And it's probably a soup of both.
Like, no one could possibly have that many cry laugh emojis. Like, do people type like that? I need to know.
Yeah.
Because I know that you see accounts that type like that, but are those humans?
That's the question. And you would think that even if most of them are bots, they're bots that are supposed to replicate like a subset of tweets given to them. So like at some point people were talking like that. I don't know.
Bro, and then you just go down the rabbit hole because then you're like, okay, the person who was like, cry, laugh emoji, cry, I'm like, let's click on their profile and go down the rabbit hole. So first of all, just like There's no name attached to it,
Mhm.
but apparently they're a content creator, software engineer, and cybersecurity, both spelled wrong, from Kenya. They have 2,700 followers, which is like, if you're a human being and you want to get 2,700 followers on Twitter, like, you're either going to have to debase yourself and like, or like it's harder than you'd think.
Yeah.
It's harder than you think. Yeah, I had to give away, basically had to offer to give away fucking 20 GTX 3080s when they were brand new, to get like 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
From that whole like Nvidia thing. That's where like most of my followers came from.
Yeah.
Was because like the criteria was to like follow me and follow Nvidia and whatever. But it's like, you look at the posts. It's all, I don't know. I guess it's all just in Kenyan. Okay, so like I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they're real. I don't know. I can't fucking tell.
Yep.
Anyway, so like I need to be done with this.
I feel that. That. Holy Jesus. Oh my God, bro. Insane.
Yeah, so after we had our episode last time where we talked a bunch about Tarkov because I had played after and everything, it's like
yeah,
nothing really important or relevant happened in Tarkov.
Nope,
like,
it's been pretty normal stuff. No, man, it's it was crazy, the timing of, we did the podcast last week right after, because we talked about the patch and how it was like a 6-hour server downtime that was actually an 8-hour server downtime, and the game was up for 2 hours, and then it was a 6-hour patch downtime that turned into a 9.5-hour patch downtime, and then the game came up, and then it was broken, and then it was all that. Well, the event that started with that patch, we talked about how tough that patch was, but the event that started basically ended with the announcement that Escape from Tarkov will go 1.0 on November 15th, 2025.
5 days after my birthday.
Oh, a little earlier than I was expecting, but I was expecting it this year. And obviously the conversations have run rampant, as they should, by the way. Like I once again, I don't engage too much with like the Twitter sphere of Tarkov anymore. So like, I'm sure people are reacting negatively, but I mean, it's just been lots of conversations about like, what do we think is coming? What's been coming over the years. Back in the day, they used to be a lot more vocal about like what they wanted for 1.0. And then I guess, the realities of like developing the game and have set in. So they've been a lot more closed off over these past few years about like what's coming in 1.0. So been a lot of conversations, but like, I was talking to my wife about like, my wife. It's more like not to sound cringe, but like at this point for me, it's more of like an emotional thing than a practical thing. Like it's just I've been playing Escape from Tarkov for like 7 years now, 2018. And the whole time, 1.0 is like 1 or 2 years away, or like 1.0 this, 1.0 that. So like, just like finally getting there is like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? That was more my reaction. My reaction wasn't necessarily like, oh, do I think it's going to be fixed? Or like, I wonder what features. It was more just like, whoa, like it's happening. You know what I mean? Like that kind of has been mostly my reaction, just because like I've made so many content and updates and guides and this and that. So all those other conversations are fun. What do we think is going to be? I don't know. Like that's cool, but it's almost separate from that. Like I don't care if 1.0 fixes Tarkov or not. I don't care. I'm excited about some other things or whatever. It's just like, the weight of like, damn, wow, it's actually happening. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, I have no idea. There's the copers, and I include myself in that category most of the time, even though I've become a cynical, you know what I mean, kind of like jaded old grandpa. There's still, I always reserve like welcome. I always reserve like 3% of my being for the copium. You know what I mean? Just it's fun to have one little string, but
it's fun to smoke crack once a week.
Just once a week, just a little bit.
A little bit of crack
But
has never hurt anyone.
has never hurt anyone ever. But the cope from the copers, which once again, I'm putting my cope card on the table. I'm not trying to like judge these people, even though I don't think this is actually happening, is that the reason Tarkov has been so atrocious this past like year or two is because what they've really been doing is they put like most of the dev team on the 1.0 branch of the game. And the live branch has really just gotten like the sloppy seconds. Basically, they're just propping it up so it doesn't implode on itself. But the 1.0 branch of the game is like really been worked on, and there's a lot in it.
Oh shit! You said that unironically. Oh god, it's really been
3%, 3%, 97%. No way. But I like
it's been worked.
I dabble in some copium. So there's that. You know what I mean? Which is technically not impossible. But we've obviously been talking about this a ton in chat. I've basically what I've been saying is like, because then you get the people on the other side that almost go too negative, where they're like, expect nothing, and then you'll never be afraid of anything. Like, just don't ever want anything in your life ever from anyone, and you'll never be disappointed. And I'm like, whoa, like, let's rein it in. Basically, what I've been telling people is like, my expectation is directly in proportion to my past experiences, right? It's like, I can't say no. They definitely haven't been working on the 1.0 branch harder, and it's definitely not going to be like much more polished. That's possible, but it's possible in the same way that you can't tell me if I go buy a lottery ticket, I'm not going to win. You don't know that, but your confidence that I won't win is in proportional to experience, which is that no one wins, right? You know the odds. And so if somebody's like, bro, I really think they've been working on the 1.0 branch, it's like, I want to let them have that and hold on to that. And I can't tell you that you're wrong, but I'm not like manufacturing. I'm not like manually pushing my expectations lower than they should be. It's just in proportion. I was like, 8 days ago, we got a downtime that was extended into a downtime that was extended. And when the game came up, it wasn't working. And then 2 hours later, there was a game breaking bug for 6 hours and they had to patch that and they haven't done anything about it yet. And it's been a week. I was like, that's 8 days ago, right? I'm not talking about like the ye old times when the patches were bad. 8 days ago, that bullshit happened. So my expectations for what's going to happen in 2 months is just in proportion to that, right? So it's like, It's really just that. I'm not trying to like overly hate. I'm not trying to like really mash my expectations down. It's just, why would I expect anything different? You know?
See, I know like 1.0 is going to be, to me, I can't help but have this like vestigial feeling as someone who at any point I could be back in Tarkov land if I wanted to. I don't want to, but so like, but I still have this
of course,
the mindset of like, whenever there's a new wipe, a little part of me gets like excited
for
like,
sure.
Like there's an opportunity and I'm just like, nah, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I have this like feeling where, you know, obviously there's the like a little bit of excitement right around that comes with, they'll probably have like drops maybe or
certainly
something.
Yeah.
You know, and there's going to be like a mega giga hype thing that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm really getting at is I can't help but feel like very quickly, 2 or 3 months down the road, it's gonna kind of peter off. And then I don't know that, like, I feel like every time there's a major patch and a wipe, a big part of the like hype that comes with it is like what's new, you know, all the stuff. And I don't know, like, unless they're going to be consistently selling DLC, they're not going to pull a Hello Games and take the next 10 years to add free content to Tarkov.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just don't think that that's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
If anything, I could see them investing more in Arena than Tarkov, and pushing that, because that's like their way of, you know,
Yeah, kind of
making
continuously
money at this point.
monetizing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like most people who have bought Tarkov, who are going to play Tarkov, have already bought Tarkov.
I agree.
But yeah, so I wonder if like what we've seen, if there's like a popularity of hype of Tarkov, which comes with it viewership numbers and YouTube numbers and all that stuff, is like this.
Yes.
And I wonder if 1.0 comes out, it's going to go.
Does that finally come to an end? Yeah.
It's just going to slowly kind of do this.
Yep.
And then there'll be a wipe and it'll be like, it's going to be like this. But it's going to be much, the peaks are going to be, I suspect the peaks are going to be not as high.
Yeah.
This peak might be higher than all of them. I would have a hard time thinking that it would be higher
Maybe
than like
not
2018.
Yeah, when like that first drops campaign hit and it went nuclear, like
if I can sustain 100,000 viewers for 24 hours straight, there was hype.
But I do think that this will be the highest peak since then. 1.0. Everyone's going to want to come and check out, new and old players. Like, okay, well, what's 1.0 like?
And so even if they're going to have wipes, what I wonder is there going to be the same kind of like wipe hype 6 months from, in
post
fucking
1.0.
May?
Yeah.
In May, right?
Yeah.
If they're not really, and I don't know if they are, maybe they are, maybe they will, maybe things will change.
Yeah.
But like if they aren't going to be adding a new map and a new scav boss and whatever.
Yeah.
Will people care, or will Tarkov kind of the game's not going to die?
No,
but it'll just kind of slowly fizzle out to like a more.
And I think that's a great question, and it really depends on how much cope you want to inhale on like what they're working on for 1.0, because you have kind of games in buckets. Not a new conversation we've had before. Games like MMOs, like specifically World of Warcraft, that have relied on bespoke like content made from the devs. That like right there has to be a new expansion with new gear and new this and new that. Destiny is the same way. That keeping people in the game relies 100% on like work from the devs to make a new thing, which makes the old thing irrelevant, because if the old thing is still relevant, why would you buy the new thing? So you have to buy the expansion to get the new thing, and the old thing has to become irrelevant, and that snowball. And then just like in WoW, like Destiny is experiencing this as well. Like the new player experience is atrocious, because the only two things you can offer a new player is like, do you want to play 10 years worth of content, or do you want to just skip everything and get to endgame in 6 hours? And both of those kind of feel ass. You know what I mean? Because you're stepping into a game that has a lot of history, so just kind of skipping everything feels dumb. But I don't want to spend 10 years going through all that content. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have games like DayZ and Rust, who have gotten very little content compared to games like that, and have had like hit their peak viewership and player base in the past like 2 or 3 years, because the game is, you make the content, and like the JLKs and the Wellens and the Blueprints have like ushered in a new era, because they tell really good stories with the tools the game gives them, and then that makes people want to get into it. And Tarkov kind of sits in the middle, and we don't know where they're going to plant their feet, because they haven't relied on like new content like a WoW expansion. They rely on new content as actually like new features, because the game's not out yet. So when the game is out, what direction are they going to go? Are they working on bringing more emergent gameplay such that you could enjoy Tarkov for years to come just by playing the game? Or are they going to rely on wipes and DLC and new maps and and that kind of stuff, basically the same development stuff, to keep people coming back to the game? Because I think wipes are valuable for extraction shooters, because it's a good place to inject new players, and it's a good reason for old players to come back. I'm down if they keep wipes, but I do agree with what you're saying. It's like the wipe is going to have more to it, because up until this point, the wipes were all like this subconscious, well, it's getting us closer to 1.0. And you're going to lose that subconscious thing.
The sound.
Yes.
The game's going to be playable this time around.
Yes. And so post 1.0, that little, it's not going to be there. So there's going to have to be more to the wipes. I'm with you 100%. And we know nothing about what it's going to be. Yeah.
And I can't imagine. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm just saying I literally can't imagine what they could do that would get enough, like a noteworthy amount. Like if they took 6 months and then they sold 1,000 copies of the game, that's bad.
That's bad. Yeah, that's not
right. Like they need to sell. So, but what could they possibly do that would generate enough hype for them to sell enough copies for them to make any amount of work worth it?
Yeah.
To me, like the only thing I can think of, like if this was my company, and I had to make the decision right now, I'd just be like, there is nothing. there is nothing.
Nicki Minaj skins.
So, like, because from now on, assuming it's November 16th, right?
Yeah.
From now on, our work needs to sell copies.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we have a monthly. It's not to keep the current players. Like, technically speaking, that's not to say that I expect them to like abandon the player base.
No.
But why the fuck do they care? Like, why are they going to do anything to make any current players happy?
Yeah. You've already bought the game. Yeah.
You've already bought the game. Like, so you'd want to prevent, I don't know, maybe people from getting mad, which would prevent future people from buying. But that assumes that you have a bunch of future people that are like this pool of potential buyers. And I just don't know what the market is like. And
I do think that they're learning that they do have a print money button in the office, and that is cosmetics. Like this wipe, they released the, you saw me wearing it, the Hawaiian shirts and the shorts. And though, I mean, day one of the wipe, you were only seeing people in Hawaiian shirts, baby. It was like, so I think they're starting to realize that they've got that button. Now, I'm not saying that means that they never have to sell more copies. I agree with you that selling copies is still going to be the biggest, moneymaker for them. But they are kind of exploring some of these other things. We know that there's going to be more battle passes for Arena. That's going to cost money in the future. We know that the first one was free, but the future ones are going to cost money. And so, yeah, but going back to what you said, it was like, well, what does the game consist of? What's in the game that makes me want to come back and play enough that makes me want to buy a cosmetic? Yeah. Now that we're at 1.0.
When 1.1 comes around in May, you just played a wipe and they're like, cool, we're wiping, no changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your streamer, like the hype, if Twitch didn't exist, you'd have like 15% of the player base would be like, oh, okay, I want to play and whatever.
Yeah.
Really, it's like the streamers generate the hype because it's the self-fulfilling prophecy. They get drops, they make money, they get hyped, which gets people hyped, which then gets them wanting to emulate all the streamers. But it's like, I don't know, if the hype isn't exactly there because of this future thing isn't there, then it's like, I just wonder what a lot of Tarkov content creators are going to do.
Sure. And like we said, we have no idea. Like they could have a plan for where they want to land, where they do want to release content. They have a post-launch, loose plan on they're going to release maps. We've had things like Town and Suburbs pulled off the thing. We know there's Scav Life DLC, and that there were a couple other DLCs that they talked about way back in the day. Like, we're not saying it's definitively like going to die. We're saying what I'm saying is that like when 1.0 comes out, they kind of have to pick a side. They have to put their money on the line. They have to either say, well, we're going to retain players and gain new ones by providing new content, or by making a game that creates the fun and the hype that gets more people involved. Like undoubtedly, Blueprint has sold, 100,000 copies of Rust. Like, I don't know about that much, but you know what I mean? And so so that's the interesting thing is like, what direction are they going to go? Have they thought about it? Do they have a plan? Do they not have a plan? It's super interesting. I think about that exact same thing too. What's going to happen after? I don't know.
They come out with a new big update that adds slide canceling and fucking
Omni
jetpacks and shit. And like, that would be the smartest thing for them to do. Realistically speaking, like, ignore having like a spine and having like, being able to sleep at night. The smartest thing for them to do would be literally turn it into fucking Fortnite.
Yeah, to print money.
They'd sell 100,000 more copies, and then they just go and make fucking,
Russia
Tarkov
2028.
2096 or whatever the fuck it's called. Which is what Nikita was saying 2, 3, 4 years ago. He was like, I just want to be done with this game so I can move on to fucking another project.
Yeah.
So which makes me think, like, why, like 1.1 is going to be various bug fixes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Dude, I really don't know. I mean, it's been so long since we have even heard them talk about what their plans for wiping are. Are they going to wipe more often? Are they going to wipe less often? Back in the day, they used to wipe 3 to 4 times a year. And I remember when that shifted, that was like a big shift to 2 times a year. Like 6-month wipes were long as fuck, bro. And so like they used to wipe whenever the hell they want. And then they wiped pretty consistently 3 to 4 times a year. And then that shifted into pretty consistently 2 times a year. And then over the past 2 years, that shifted to one really long wipe from December to like August, and then a shorter wipe from August to December. So maybe they're going to wipe more often. Maybe they're going to wipe once a year. Maybe they're going to, they could go the Rust where it's like they wipe every 3 weeks to like, and that's the whole deal is that I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm saying is like, they haven't talked about it and we really don't know. I would love to get some information about that. I don't know if they're going to release any of that. Like, I think there's like a 70% chance 1.0 happens. I think there's a 70% chance that December 15th, we're talking about, do you think they're going to wipe? Like, they might just release 1.0 and not talk about this shit. And then, like, we'll just have to wait till May. You know what I mean?
If they'd learned anything by now, which I'm not confident they have, if this was me, if I was Nikita, 1.0 would be in testing right now. Like code complete.
Yeah.
Now it wouldn't be the Friday before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, but that kind of actually makes me wonder about something. Because this is gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna do the Veritas thing that everyone loves.
Yes.
Which is,
get your comment fingers ready.
I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong about what you think and what you want. I know you better than you do.
Yes, you do.
I'm only half kidding. When you ask people, why are you excited for the wipe?
Mm-hmm.
The response you'll get, I estimate, is because I love the feeling of early wipe Tarkov.
Undoubtedly, that's among the top answers. I don't think you're off base for that.
Can you think of another top 3 answer?
It's just ever going to be like what this wipe brings. Like I'm excited for Lighthouse. You know what I mean? Like
so ignore that.
Yeah.
Ignore that.
Yeah. Independent of the content that's coming, why do people like when wipes happen? Yeah, like the feeling of early wipe fights, or just like I want something to do. Like I did all the quests, and now I want to do them. I just want I want a carrot at the end of the stick, and those are linked a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suspect that when they say they love early wipe Tarkov, I think a large portion, like, I think some people see that as like the pie chart is 100%. I love that I've got shit gear. The other guy has shit gear, and whatever, and
level playing field. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's probably, like 70%, maybe 50% that, and 50% it's that you have something to do. You've got quests. You are like the level 1, and you get to start building up the thing, the money, the gear, the whatever, right? So now the thing is that like that feeling, I think you could get if you just reset your account or prestige.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I would have to do like another 50 raids to really know if like my intuition about this is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure it's like 30% right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying and what I'm feeling, but there's a nugget of truth in here that I think is relevant.
Yeah.
Where if you were to say, wipe, everyone wipe today, boys and girls, let's go, and you didn't wipe anyone's account except for your account, you'd be like, oh, I love early wipe. It's so sick, bro. The fights are so sick. And you wouldn't even realize you're fighting level 11s. You're fighting a guy, you know, like ignoring that you can see the dog tag is level 60.
Yeah.
On day 3, everyone's got Scav Boss, top tier gear.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
So really, it's not about the community, the wipe, everything.
Yeah.
That excitement is purely like artificial.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's not like real, but it has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
That's just like getting excited for another St. Patrick's Day. It's like nothing new is happening. You're just doing it again.
Yeah.
You know, in the ritual of the community and going through drops and watching streamers and looking at all the new content and whatever.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know. I just have a feeling that a lot more of it is effectively that you're getting forced to reset your account and you have kind of a reason to like jump back in, which is independent of everyone else. So all of that is to say, I forget. Son of a fucking bitch.
Dude, when you paused,
all I was to say something really cool, relevant, and poignant.
When you paused, like a part of me held my breath and was like, I hope he forgot. Because my favorite moments on the podcast are when you go on some rant and then you forget the point. I love it so much. Now, now I'm tracking with you. And here's the thing. I think some people are going to interpret what you said as you think the only reason people are excited for the wipe is because it's their thing. And I don't think that's what you're saying. But I do think what you're saying is that's a part of it, and maybe a bigger part of it than people realize. I do think there's a community element to it, which I think you would agree. Like for the longest time, people have asked me, why don't I do hardcore? Now we're talking like real hardcore, like Deadly, Pestily rules, Sheaf does it. Like a lot of people do hardcore. Why don't I do that? And my number one thing is like, because like I don't want to make Tarkov any harder for myself that we so asked to do that halfway through the wipe. But what I always say is if they ever did servers that were like that, where everybody was playing by those rules, I would be so down. You know what I mean? Like, but to now go from devil's advocate to other side, to your point, it's funny because like over the past few years, one of the like most consistent complaints when the wipe hits is that early wipe feeling goes away so fast now. They have, you know, everyone has Scav Boss gear really quickly. There was the wipe where everybody got 1,000 rounds of 7.62 BP, you know, top tier ammo. Nowadays you can grind level 3 arena in like 3 or 4 days. And then a level 3 ref has like insane, like top tier gear. Like, so it's funny because if you ask people that 3 days before a wipe, but basically what I'm saying is I agree with you that it's a disproportionate amount. People will say it's because the early game is so good, but then 3 days after a wipe, they're like, the early game's so ass now. And people haven't quite connected those dots. It's just like the thing to say. I like wipe because I love early game wipe or early wipe.
Yeah. So part of what I was getting at was that like, I think people get hyped for wipes. There are other reasons, like you had said, new content, whatever, but I feel like the community, the hype around all that stuff, a lot of it comes from like the cyclical nature of it. And people are like, I'm just going to wait until the wipe.
Yeah.
They're not, when they say that, they're actually not thinking like, I'm going to wait until they do various bug fixes, add another map and a Scav Boss. They're like, I'm just going to wait until there's some arbitrary point in time where everyone's going to jump in. I'm going to jump in with everyone.
Exactly. It's more of like a moment. It's a moment in time. It's a reason to come back and a reason to be excited. And it's like, however you engage with Tarkov, everyone's got the reason to come and check it out. And that's fun.
Yeah. So I think that like the way people think about it is like different from almost the way it really is, because if they just never did wipes anymore and you could either reset your account at will or prestige, you know, regularly when you get to a certain point, I almost feel like why would they need to wipe anymore? If early wipe lasts 5 days, why do this massive thing for a 5-day thing that most people aren't even going to experience anything different
Yeah.
And people are going to say, because I want to experience X, but they can experience 99% of that by just resetting their account.
Yeah.
It's all mental. It's all this
I understand what you're saying.
Imaginary thing.
For sure. And like you say all the time, it's like if you come to the wipe 5 days into a wipe, if you miss the first couple days, you almost miss the whole early wipe experience.
Might have been 5 months into the wipe. It's indistinguishable.
Yeah. Yeah. I am tracking with what you're saying, and I don't inherently disagree. It's and it's so funny because this is kind of a side tangent conversation that I've been having internally, which is like I don't think prestiging is bad. I mean, you're not going to catch me doing it, but like I think it's given a lot of people like a new life, a new reason to like continue playing the game. But these are just some like, I haven't molded the clay yet. These are just like random thoughts. But like my like, how do I say this? I feel it in my heart, but I don't know how to get it out there. I think that relying on the game for the content, the way in which it's currently set up, is the least meaningful way to play the game for me. So it's like, you know, day 5 of the wipe, customs, it's just like everybody with shotguns, right? And it's like predictable. And, you know, then day whatever of the wipe, everyone, like you reach a point where streets is literally exclusively SR2s because Test Drive Part 2. It's like whatever. And when you prestiging is just like recirculating people back into that thing. You see a guy wearing a Ushanka, you just know he's doing setup. You see a guy on streets, he's just got an SR2. And there's just like perpetually this like questing thing where and this is a personal thing, like, and I don't know if Tarkov is just too far gone because the audience has really been trained, not by their own stupidity. Like I'm not calling anybody that plays this game this way dumb. They've been trained by the developers that like that is Tarkov. It is the content. It is the quests. It is the you do what I say you do. You need to go to this place to do this thing, to unlock this, and you need to go do that. And so prestiging you just never escape that. And up until prestiging, when people escape it, when people get Kappa, they normally go, I'm bored. And my thought process around that was, the cope thought process was, I hope that as we get closer to 1.0, the game can stand on its own, right? That resources might not be so available that what you do after you get Kappas, you might need to go do med runs, or you might need to go do ammo runs, or you might want to go run this map or do this thing for this limited time event that the game, and then you interact with another player and you VoIP with him and he needs a thing or he's questing and now maybe you change what you want to do. Like that was what I hoped Tarkov would turn into, that it wouldn't rely, because especially they used to talk about the quests. Like these are all just side quests. Like these aren't that important. But now like you can call them side quests, but they're not side quests. They are they are everything. They're everything. And instead of elevating the gameplay loop such that just engaging with it is fun and you can create your own goals, we got prestige, which just folds you right back down to the bottom of the quest ladder. And once again, I don't think prestiging is bad. I think for the people that do it, it really is good. But like, I worry if it's just kind of a sign that the game will never not be just reliant on the things it tells you to do. And I wish it were a little less.
Yeah, just like DayZ.
Yeah.
You spawn into the map and it's like, okay, what's my quest?
Exactly. Now
there is none.
Now I think they can coexist. And not many games do that. In DayZ and Rust, there are no quests. It's just like amass wealth, kill player. And the way in which you do that can unfold a million different ways. And that's what's so addicting about those games. Tarkov is largely like quest. And when you're not questing, you're either like grinding PvP to get clips for content, or you've gone to play another game. I think they can coexist. I actually think that there can be a game with a campaign and with stories and with quests and with some progression that basically equips you through that progression with the knowledge of how the game systems work, such that when you're out of it, you are like, all right, go do your thing. But that's not really Tarkov right now. You know, some content creators that do it for content, like create those stories. That's where kind of like hardcore came out of, that like challenge. That's where, you know, my like, I'm going to get to 15 only using, you know, a pistol, you know, challenge or a lot of stuff. But for the average player, I think when they're done questing, whether that's level 42 max traders, 55 for Kappa, Prestige 3, or at level 27 when they just don't feel like questing anymore. I feel like for most players that play casually, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments and in chat, when you hit that point, there is no compelling reason to play. It's either help your friends quest or play something else. And that's kind of the hole I want them to fill a little bit. Don't get rid of the quests. Don't do that. Don't even get rid of prestiging. But I wish the game, just playing the game, stood on its own a little bit more than it does.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way I look at it now, the way that I will approach Tarkov in the future is going to be the same exact way I approach Skyrim, which is once every 18 months, I'm like, okay, let's boot up a new playthrough. Let's go level 1. And you get up to level 27, 35. You're like 80% of the way through the main quest line, but you've done it before. So you don't really need to finish it. You do some little side things here and there and there. And then it's like, okay, cool. Something else comes across and you just play it. And then 2 years later, you're like, I'm going to start a new playthrough. And you come back when, I don't know about you, but I open up I'm a level 67 fucking wood elf and I've got all this gear and I'm like, don't remember what the story was. And I'm like, so I don't want to play on this save, even if it's like rich. I just want to reset and start over and start fresh. And I think that's going to be the way a lot of people are going to approach it.
I think that's the way people do approach it. They just use the wipe as they're almost like stuck in a boot loop of Skyrim where like, they get to level 32 or whatever and they get tired. And instead of, like you said, going to play another game, it's wipe time and they go boop and they just do it again.
And it's FOMO. It's not, you know what? I feel like doing a new Skyrim. If I want to jump in the next 6 months, now has to be the time.
If I plan on playing Tarkov at all in the next 6 months, I need to do it now so that I don't get behind. And then I don't want to do it now, but I do it now and then I get burnt out. And so I stop playing and it's like flipped. Yes, 100%. And I think, I'm not here to say that I can lay 100% of the blame, but I think a big part of that is exactly that. It's because all there is in the game is what the game tells you to do. It feels like a single player game where people can just fuck your shit up. You're playing Skyrim and some other douchebag can just be like, hi-ya! Like, you know what I mean? And then you're like, God damn it, I was trying to do this quest. Because the content of the game is largely just like, do the thing I'm telling you to do. And once again, I don't think that's bad. I think that has its place in Tarkov. I just think that 42 wipes in. It's like you've just kind of like changed how people perceive the game. That is how they perceive the game. That is the content. And so like I don't even know if they could meaningfully do those other things because I think some amount of people when they're not questing, they genuinely don't see a point in Tarkov. And so it's just an interesting thing. I don't know. But ultimately, yeah, we have no idea what's coming with 1.0, how much content, how much fixes, how much changes to like the core fundamental pillars of the game, or if they're not even thinking that far ahead and they're just trying to get like the 1.0 in the bottom left corner. I have no idea.
Bro, when I jumped in the other day, and for those of you who don't know, on the podcast
patreon.com/thepodcastpod.
Check it out. Your boy, Top V, went in and played his first Tarkov raid in over 2 years with Jesse.
And let's just say he still got it.
One of us lived, one of us didn't. I'm not gonna say who it was.
I would never say who it was.
I would never say. I'm not going to say who killed what, how it happened, or anything like that. Just subscribe to the Patreon. It's worth it. We got a bunch of popping off with some new people who want to see the epic Tarkov gameplay. We're going to
Yep.
be doing more of it.
Mhm.
Some extra double, extra triple bonus content now.
Yep.
But so when I did that, where in the wipe are we now? Like, I don't even.
We're
I
2
don't
months
know.
into a wipe.
Okay. 2 months into the wipe is like, is it conceptually really any different than 4 months in?
No,
Like,
no, we're like, I mean, like you would call it mid wipe if you were talking chronologically. It's late wipe economically.
yeah, and like we went to customs, and there were dudes with shotties.
Yeah. Well, I guess hardcore wipe did kind of mess with everyone's progression, so you call it mid wipe.
Yeah, maybe. I was just gonna say it's like, you know, the whole idea that just brought me back to the whole thing where it's like, to me, there's early wipe, which is the first 6 days of the wipe,
Yeah.
and then there's the rest of the wipe. There's two categories.
More
right?
and
It's
more,
like,
I agree with you. Yeah.
it's, you know, early wipe is for people to get hyped to watch streamers race,
Mm-hmm.
because most people aren't playing, they're watching highlight videos, they're watching streams, because they're working 9-to-5 jobs like normal fucking non-degenerate humans.
Yeah.
While all the Tarkov streamers are going 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And, you know, speed running it. And then by day 4, all the streamers and or the people who are try to emulate that, like, really fast, you know, get all the like Giga Chad non-content creators. At that point, it's like, it's just indistinguishable. If you couldn't see the level on the dog tags,
Yeah.
you would not know when in the wipe you were.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Some other Tarkov things that happened this week. So last week while we were on the podcast, I didn't realize this. So last week we did the podcast on the day of the patch. It went down forever, then it came back up, then it went down forever, then it came back up, and then it was broken. And I played like 3 raids in the 9-hour stream. That night, you probably saw this on Twitter, but that night people started realizing that if you played 1 round of arena and then went back to Tarkov, you would have max skills. The skills were leveling in arena at like approximately 1,000 times faster than they were supposed to. And we're leveling independent.
Feature, not the bug, it's feature.
Yeah.
We were testing.
And we're leveling independent of what skill you were using in arena. For example, I know a lot of people that got elite hideout management and elite crafting by playing 2 arena raids. You can't level those skills in arena. And then Velian went and played a couple in arena raids and got max strength, but his endurance wouldn't level, but all of his kits he was underweight. So when you're underweight, you're only leveling endurance while you're running. And when you're overweight, you're only leveling strength. But he got max strength, but he didn't get max endurance. So it was not correlated to like what skill you were exerting in arena.
They've been working hard on 1.0, bud.
And so people just played that all night and like got max skills. Now, I have no idea what the percentage of people is, right? I know there were a bunch of content creators that were tweeting out like, play arena right now, you get max skills. But I have I don't know if 5% of the, like, when I say population, I mean population of people that play like at least a couple times a week. I don't know if 5% of those people have max skills now, 20% of those people have max skills now, 50% of those people, it's surely not like 70%. I missed it. But they fixed it the next day, the next morning, or later that night. But as of now, they have not done anything to revert those skills. They haven't reset those people to 0. They haven't rolled those skills back to what they were before. And the other thing people were saying was like, at this point, just give everybody max skills. They haven't done that either. So now you have some subset of the player base with like really meaningful differences in the playstyle. So elite strength and
did they fix the leveling in arena?
Yeah, it's normal now. But so elite strength and endurance are huge, right? Like elite endurance, is a huge difference, especially if you're playing like Shoreline, you're trying to get to the resort. Like you might have God Spawn and get there second if you're playing with somebody with elite endurance. Elite strength, you can throw stuff farther and jump higher. Some other notable ones. Elite vitality means your bleeds close automatically. So if you're fighting somebody and you shoot them up in a normal fight where they would maybe have to back up and heal some bleeds, they don't have to, they close automatically. Elite surgery skill means that you do surgery like 50% faster. And when you do surgery, those limbs go back to 100% of their original HP. There isn't a cost associated with it. Yeah. Elite immunity means you don't
poison.
You don't take any negative effects from things. So when you take like a mule and it nukes your hydration and energy, but you can run farther, you don't get the negative effects. You only get the positive effects.
That's busted.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's significant enough that like I could be fighting like a level 22 that played 4 arena raids that their bleeds will automatically close. They can CMS twice as fast as I can. They can run twice as far as I can. They don't take any negative effects when they take shit because they played 3 arena raids. And so I'm team, like, just give everybody max skills at this point. This wipe is sufficiently fucked before the arena bug, but now it's just like ass because it just muddies the water. We've had this conversation with the cheating thing, right? Where it's like, just knowing that there are cheaters out there makes everything feel kind of ass because you're like, oh, was that? And then you don't know, and you don't like that you don't know. And so it's like that where you're like, oh, dude, like, did that have any bearing in that fight? I don't know. Maybe he just got a lucky shot on me. Maybe he would have been healing because I shot him up a ton. Like, it just makes it feel rough. Oh, yeah. If you have max attention, you can instantly search things. You click a button and the whole bag is searched.
So, and all those skills people have maxed
100%.
out?
Elite crafting means you can craft 2 things at once in each thing. Elite hideout management means it's just like it. Ass.
You know what I would do if I was them?
Ass.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, you're there. Then you should work there because you're killing it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
just give everybody max skills. Why not?
Because they would fuck that up. They would legitimately, there would be some kind of fucking weird bug and they delete everyone's accounts or whatever.
That's better.
Like, no, I mean, like, delete them.
That's better. Tell me right now if everybody's Twitter account got deleted, that wouldn't be better. It might be a bug, but you'd be like, fucking hell yeah.
Capital B better for humanity, right? Not for the game, but yeah, no, I'm with you.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you don't want to be the one to write the query to fucking modify all records in a database, and like you don't want to be. That's the kind of shit that, I mean, like, I never wrote a ton of SQL, but I have dealt with a lot of database stuff. But I wrote a bunch of SQL in college, in grad school. And let me tell you, those are the kinds of, like, you know how you'd have like the nightmares where you show up to like class and it's like the final exam and you're not ready. The dreams I would have when I was doing software full time was like, I wrote, you know, an update query that fucked everything up and just nuked the whole database and like deleted everyone's accounts. So like we didn't have anyone's names or account numbers or emails. And it was like, well, you got to buy the game again, I guess. Like, dude, those are the kinds of nightmares I have.
They should just make leveling skills like 10x. They've done that before as a pre-wipe event. They should just put that back. And then you play a couple rounds of actual Tarkov and you're getting close to max skills. Like, they could do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can. The question is like, do they care enough?
No.
And realistically speaking, like, I'm with them in that, like, if the bug was give everyone all max skills, oopsie daisy, it'd just be like, it's 2 months until 1.0.
Yeah.
We already fucked everything up with the hardcore. I'd be like, yeah, just like, here, have the
fun.
toys.
Yeah.
Give you all tactical nukes, you know, like whatever. The second best thing is a bunch of people have it and they're like, okay, you can have it, go have fun, and then like just the other people just please shut the fuck up, don't bother us about it. Like
Nah.
that's I'm not
No,
defending
I
it.
know. You're saying from their perspective, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, it's and the beautiful irony of that happened during the hardcore wipe, right? And while they're still like hanging on to some semblance of the hardcore wipe, like I still can't buy freaking hemostats from Therapist. I still can't buy, you have to have the flea market to buy a goddamn CMS kit. You still can't put 50,000 rubles in your secure container. Like they're holding on to these like super like frail, gross, ugly remnants of the hardcore wipe. And then like 20% of the people you run into are just goddamn super soldiers now. And it's like just the irony of it all is so horrendously beautiful. I don't know. So
They're limiting the size of the turbocharger. Like there's a certain size turbocharger. You can't have anything higher than that. We really want to keep everybody competitive, but also unlimited nitrous oxide for everyone at all times.
Exactly.
Like, so then what was the reason for the
Exactamundo, my friend? Ever since that patch last week as well, there's been a bug in the game where the boss AI is on like Terminator mode, like super soldier mode, like genuinely, like not worse, but I'm saying as bad as the AI has ever been, like when it was the most egregious, like the first. And it's so weird because like they have been really good recently. Like on the list of complaints, the AI was pushed way down, and that used to be top 3 for me. Like they've kind of been nailing the updates to like how they path, how they move, how they shoot.
They just made them dumber, right? For the most part, they just made them dumber.
No, I mean, yeah, no, actually, genuinely not.
Well, not dumber, less competent.
No, they made them more human-like.
Yeah, so less competent.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
humans are generally not as competent as robots.
Okay. So in that sense, yes.
They weren't as accurate. It wasn't insta one-shot kill.
But that's the thing. Like, sorry, I have to, bob and weave when I'm in chat, and people are like, they made them dumb, and it's like, no. They were.
I know better.
T5000s, they were, or T1000s. They were stupidly OP. Now they act like normal humans. Anyways, what I'm saying is that they have been pretty good. And so this was a very noticeable change where like Kaban will like lock onto you and he will just like never stop like attempting to wallbang you and tracking you perfectly. Like I'll be in the aspect building, which means between me and Kaban is I'm in a building and then there's a wall and then there's a space and then there's a wall and then there's a space and then there's a wall and then that's where he spawns. And I'll just sit there and just in perpetuity, he'll go 100 rounds and then he'll reload. And then I can like move and he'll just track you. He's never going to hit me, right? He's shooting. But it's just like, but now I can't peek him because he is locked onto me and he's like insta snapping to me. So like I have to basically reset and get him to lose aggro and then re-engage or like get him with a nade or something like that. And all the guards, like I had glue hard guards shooting me through a mountain. It's just like they're like absolutely cracked right now, which is hilarious. That literally since the patch last Wednesday, boom, boss AI, crazy. They did something with the audio. Like there's some I don't understand how this works, but like. There's some extra reverb on like all of the noises you make. And it feels like that reverb happens positionally where you were. So if I'm running, it sounds like somebody's running just behind me.
Right behind you.
Yes.
That's literally the worst kind of.
And in a game where like needing to like be able to hear like the super subtle nuance of a guy just pivoting or like ADSing, like people have been coming in chat and they've been like, am I out of my goddamn mind or is everybody hearing ghosts? And I'm like, oh no, man, yeah, exactly. That is what it is. I thought I was going insane. I thought someone was riding behind me at all times. It's so ass, bro. Like largely, once again, similar to the AI, a lot of good audio improvements this year. I'm not trying to shit on them, But this is like, it's horrendous, bro, because it's just hard to know. Because like 11 times you do that, and then the 12th time you're like, all right, that's got to be just me, right? And it's the dude in the corner, and you're like, God damn it. And then they made some hardcore changes. They oh my God, dude, this was so funny. Pestily tweeted. This was one of those times where it feels like they just did something because Pestily tweeted it. But he was like, there's 2 quests in the game called Drip Out 1, and Drip Out 2. And it's
I saw this.
Yeah, and it's to turn in a certain amount of like rigs to Ragman, and then your reward is like the ability to purchase like cosmetics, whatever. But the you have to turn in like 50 rigs, and then for the other one you have to turn in 50 armors. I don't remember what. But the thing is that like from the cultist circle, you can get quest items. So like you can get like eletics you need or this, that, or the other. But so often the stuff you get back is just 5 rigs because those are quest items found in raid rigs. And
so if you're doing the cultist circle, you like actively want to limit, you like don't want to accept quests.
Yes. No, the meta around Tulu responded to Pesley's tweet and said, when the meta is to never accept a quest, the quest should change.
Yeah, because like if you have one quest active and the reward is a Ledex, does that mean you just want to farm the cultist circle? Because
I mean, kinda. You would never only have one quest active that you needed something, but yes, you want like the cultist circle is a great way to get those harder to get items.
Is it really that the case anymore that you?
Oh no, yeah. There's like at any point you have 72 quests accepted. There's just so many now.
Oh God, that's cancer.
Anyways,
fuck, that sucks.
So they reduced the item requirements for the Drip It Out tasks from 50 to 40. It's no change. They did not change it as far as I'm concerned.
I thought
50 to 5 would have been acceptable. 50 to 40 is not a change. The whole point.
I thought you were gonna say they got rid of the quest because that's what didn't Pestily was like, just get rid of the quest. Yeah.
From 50 to 40. So that's hilarious. They reverted the AI equipment to the values before the hardcore wipe. I think that meant that they had less good gear on average because of the hardcore wipe or whatever. And so they just like reverted to pre-hardcore wipe. Adjusted the Bitcoin farming time in the hideout. I don't have Bitcoin farm, so I don't know if that adjustment was up or down. I don't know. And then they adjusted the item prices at ref. So remember how when the hardcore wipe started, they had slightly increased the prices from ref for the meta gear. But it was so insignificant that it was still like, people were like, this is ruining the hardcore wipe. Like you can get the best shit in the game from ref. And then people were freaking out about it. So then they like really increased the cost of those things from ref. But I remember I told you, but that included like cosmetics, like balaclavas cost like 70 GP coins. So then they like, then they made the cosmetics low, but everything else high. And now they've reverted it. So now things are approximately the price in GP coins that they were before. Which I don't care about that change. What I care about is, once again, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we holding on to, why can't I buy a CMS? If I have the flea market, I have all the traders back unlocked. Like every hardcore thing has been undone. I can get all the shit I want from Arena. I got max skills from Arena. Why are we holding on to that? Why can't I buy a CMS? Why can't I buy a Calic? Why can't I put 60,000 rubles in my ass so I can take the car? Like, we are holding on to the most random, stupidest stuff for hardcore. Like, just abandon it, bro. Just abandon it, bro. Like, what are we doing? It's so weird. It's so weird.
I can't wait. They're going to arbitrarily decide like 17 of these arbitrary things are just going to, like, they're going to merge into 1.0.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to feel unplayable.
It's mudda flipping. I really just don't understand what's happening. And I've been thinking about this a lot. And this can be the last like Tarkov thing we talk about. But this is kind of a true question, right? And you're probably going to see right through it. But like, I've been working on a script for a video that was going to originally just be called the Hardcore Tarkov Wipe Retrospective. Like, I was just going to be like, let me put all my thoughts together. Like, now that it's basically over, whatever. And the script is kind of classically like ballooned into this like bigger thing about like,
it should be like a corporate PowerPoint. You should change the entire style of the video to be like, you're going to be in a suit and tie in front of a whiteboard and be like, all right, everybody. So here we are. We ideated
that's a great idea.
Learnings for, and it's just a terrible,
that's a great idea.
Clippy.
But so it's just ballooned into like more of that. The hardcore wipe shows how BSG think about the game. Like, you know what I mean? And just like, right. It's like, it's serving on a platter, kind of what we've been saying. Anyways, all that to say, I had this conversation with chat a little bit earlier, and I've just been like mulling on this point because it's going to be a part of the video. You have not played Tarkov in the past couple of years, but so this isn't fair. But based on your experience with the last couple of years you were playing, and what you know from me talking about on the podcast, do you think Escape from Tarkov has gotten harder or easier since 2017, 2018 when it first came out?
That's a good question, and I think it depends on how you look at it.
1,000,000%.
Like, combat is different than money.
Yes.
Getting things is different. Like the availability of things, the ways to make money, the options you have, it's infinitely more than it ever was. But like back in the day, there were periods where it was really bad, but like in the glory days, like the scavs weren't AIDS. The quests, there was like a reasonable number of quests. The progression, you know, made it didn't make as little sense as it does now.
Yeah.
The double
negative there. Yep.
You know, like having like 4 quests accepted at a time at any given point was like overwhelming back in the day.
Yep.
And now it sounds like you probably have like 3 dailies and like 17 quests. Dude. And like you now you need a fucking Excel spreadsheet to like track your shit.
I'm not joking around. Like, I don't know if you realize how bad it got. I'm not in any really meaningfully way focused on questing right now, which means like I could be doing more quests to unlock more quests. I genuinely unironically think I have 30 accepted quests right now. And then 3 dailies and a weekly. Like it's not 4 or 5 like it used to be. It's like 30 to 40 at a time.
Yikes.
So anyways, you're 100% thinking the right way. And I think the reason I asked the question is because I actually think the conversation that spurs out of that question is the center of the misunderstanding Battle State Games has about Escape from Tarkov, and also the epicenter of the misunderstanding the players of Escape from Tarkov have. Because some people will die on the hill that it's gotten harder, and some people will like literally call those people imbeciles because it's gotten so much easier. But it depends on how you define it. I would argue, like, I don't know if the word mechanically is the right word, but I would argue in terms of the shit you have to do inside of a raid, interacting with the actual human being you're controlling has gotten harder. And so I listed some things. When I first started playing, there were no mag packing animations. Now you have to like find time to do your shit.
Oh my God, you just
Yep.
5 60-round mags filled.
There were no healing animations. I've been around long enough for the people were saying healing animations will ruin the game. Because what the fuck? When am I going to heal? Because you would just press a button and it would just be a bar at the bottom. You would just heal. And you could bind 4, 5, 6, and 7 to 4 different IFAKs, and you could swipe your finger across your numpad and heal 8 things at the same time. Now you have to heal. Okay? Inertia makes moving around the maps, maybe not necessarily harder, but more cumbersome and something you have to think about. The weight system. Back in the day, the reason the weight system was added to the game was because no meaningful movement effects happened until you like literally hit 100 kilograms. Like running around with 70 kilograms worth of gear, you had the same movement speed as 20. Like it was nothing. Yep. So they added a weight system. The secure container, pre-hardcore wipe, The secure container was the most restricted it had ever been. You used to be able to put guns in there, thermals in there, cases in there, mags in there, helmets in there. You can't put any of that. Even before the hardcore wipe, you could put money and ammo and meds in there, but you couldn't put any of that in. The secure containers got more restricted. We've gotten several waves of RMT restrictions, meaning that you can't drop things for your friends, but also meaning how many tweets, maybe not you because you're not on the, but how many tweets have you seen over the year, dear viewer, of like somebody in labs and they found 4 Bitcoins, they can only pick 3 up, but they found all 4 in the map. But the RMT restriction says you can't have more than 4 Bitcoins on you, 3 Bitcoins on you at a time. So we've gotten RMT restrictions. And then the last thing I wrote down is found in raid. You used to be able to, if you needed a GPU and you found a GPU and you shoved it up your ass and you died with the GPU, you could turn in the GPU. Not anymore with the found in raid mechanic. Now quests and for last wipe hideout items, you needed to have those survive. So when you're inside of a raid, I would make
we also didn't have heavy bleeds.
Oh yeah.
There was no heavy bleeds. There was just bleed.
Yep.
There was no heavy bleeds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think energy did anything. Hydration.
Man, you might be right about that. Yeah.
Energy was like I remember that little energy star that was always 100. And it's like, what is this even? It's not going to be anything. It's not going to do anything.
Dude, you might be right about
now
that.
Now it's just kind of a redundant. It's just effectively identical to hydration, right? It's just a different bar that you fill up a different way. And there's a couple of things that are marginally easier,
certainly,
but they also add complexity and decision making and downsides. Like you can use you can fix blacked out limbs. You never could do that before.
Yeah.
If you didn't have painkillers and you blacked out your leg, you limped across woods.
Yeah.
We didn't have stims.
Yep.
Stims are great, but also there's downsides to them. So like if you want to use them, you can't just use them and not pay attention. You have to be kind of smart about when you use them, make sure that you have the skills or the resources to like fill them back up. But there's a lot more.
Yeah, I would make the same argument that in some ways the in-raid experience has gotten a little bit easier, but where it's gotten easier, those changes were more meaningful, like you said, where they come at a downtime with a downside or they require like tactical decision making, whereas most of the things that have made it harder are just like flat, like with the weight system, it's just like day one of the wipe, if you find a car battery, your experience is ass. Like there's just nothing you can do. This is just a flat thing. So I would argue that interacting with the game when you're in a raid has gotten harder over the years. However, that doesn't mean I necessarily think Tarkov has gotten harder, because outside of the raid, that's almost how you have to delineate it. Inside of the raid and outside of the raid. Outside of the raid, many ways to skip all of the friction of Escape from Tarkov have been added. The flea market. Whether the flea market is found in raid or not found in raid, it's gone through many iterations. We talk about this all the time. The flea market changed looting forever because it turned looting into, I can convert anything into ruble and then ruble into anything. So I can skip a large portion of the friction because I can turn ruble into this thing I want. Now, I'm not saying flea market is good or bad. I'm just trying to get the rest of this thought out. The flea market completely changed how looting works because everything was seen as a ruble value, and then the ruble value can be converted into most things that you want or need. The second was the hideout. Now you can craft things that were otherwise unobtainable, like high-tier ammos. You can now manufacture things that are found in raid, which are sellable on the flea market, and you can turn non-found in raid things into found in raid because you can purchase the equipment for the recipe on the flea, and then you can sell the yield of that on the flea. It's passive income, right? We've gone through many iterations of level 3 Bitcoin farm. The best way to make money in Escape from Tarkov for several years was to not fucking play. Get level 3 Bitcoin farm and just let that shit roll, and you'd make 20 million in a week, and that bankrolls you to play for a couple of weeks. And then the third thing, or the last thing in the hideout, is the scav case and the cultist circle. There are now 2 different ways to basically gamble random shit and you might get the stuff that you need for your quests, completely bypassing doing the quest, getting the thing. Just run the cultist circle in the scav case until you get the thing. And then the third macro out of raid thing that allows you to skip friction is arena. Now, it's not just money. Now, you can level your skills, you can level your character, and you can gain access to some of the best gear in the game without playing the game. You play this other game. And then in addition to that, you can funnel tens of millions of rubles to your account. So mechanically, inside of a raid, they just keep sucking the fun out and making this shit arbitrary and hard and dumb. But outside of the raid, what if you just skipped all that shit? What if you just stopped playing raids? What if you played this other game? And there's all this other stuff. Now, once again, I'm not anti-flea market. I'm not anti-hideout. But that's the conversation around, is Tarkov easier or harder? It's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yep.
And then the last and final component is the novelty of Tarkov. Tarkov, very unashamedly, the knowledge barrier is a big part of it, right? Like, where the fuck do I have to do this quest? Where do I plant this quest item? It just says plant the Wi-Fi camera on customs. Where do I plant it on customs? What does damage mean? What does pen mean? You remember how big of a deal it was when they put the damage and pen values in the game? That wasn't in the game. People don't understand that shit wasn't in the game for so long. So
it required breaking the term. The community relied on one person to consistently break the terms of service to make that information.
Yes. So
available.
The knowledge barrier was really high. And that's what made the community so tight-knit early on. We were all figuring that shit out together. And here's the thing. This is why I bring this up in terms of, has Tarkov gotten easier or harder? Tarkov has undeniably been figured out. And I think that makes you perceive Tarkov as easier. Independent of the actual difficulty of a quest, if you know how to complete it, it feels easier. If you know what ammo to use, it feels easier. If you know what armor's better. And this isn't a component that you say BSG sucked at. This is every video game ever. The more you understand it and the more your mastery of it increases, the perceived difficulty goes down. And so these three core pillars are at the epicenter of everyone's like and very much so Battle State Games misunderstanding of the game. So when they said we're making a hardcore wipe, they barely touched the shit that allows you to skip all of the friction of the game. They did take away the flea, which was regarded as the best change. Like, unanimously agree. Everyone said the best part of the hardcore wipe was no flea. They brought that back. The hideout, you could still do everything in the hideout. They just made it, you needed 8 more motors. And the arena, they buffed that shit like 8 times because you could 10 times skill and all sorts of shit. So it's like, but then they made the in-raid experience more ass. And so what I hope that they see, and like I'm writing this whole script, not because I hope they see it, because I need to get it out of my brain. It's like, this is the core of why some people are like, it's so easy now, bro. I just play arena and have my Bitcoin farm. What do you mean? How could you even perceive Tarkov to be hard? But then the person like trying to do their quest and they find a car battery and they need that, and then they can't move and they're stuck and the movement's clunky and everything we talked about, where it's like, you just don't have time to do, you don't have time. It feels like playing a raid feels like filing your taxes, bro. It's like, I shot the guy and now I'm heavy and I can't move and I gotta heal. But if I heal, the player scavs are gonna come. But if I don't heal, then I'm gonna trip and I'm gonna die. So I have to heal and I have to fight the player scavs and I have to be heavy because I don't have the thing. It's just like, it feels ass. But it's like, or you could just skip it. Just play arena. Just craft it in the hideout. Just buy it on the flea. And so
you remember back in the day when it was like when you were describing, where this is what you did inside of a raid?
Dude, oh, yes. The thick case.
I had 2 thick cases.
You were 350 kilograms and not overweight because you're green. Yeah.
Yeah, because there just wasn't a weight system.
Yeah.
And I could go in and fill 2 thick cases with top tier armor, guns, ammo, magazines, grenades, meds. Oh, look at that little.
Yep.
Oh, actually, no.
Oh, this was after. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what the crazy thing is, bro? That footage. Say out loud how many years ago that was.
Like 6 years ago.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. And that was like late Tarkov.
Yeah.
That was like Tarkov. Like if you joined then, you're still like a newbie now.
Yeah.
You're not a fucking OG veteran if you started playing at 11.7.
Now, hear me when I say this. The point of that ramp was not old school Tarkov better than new school. The point of that ramp wasn't all they have to do is get rid of the weight system and inertia and get rid of the flea market and Tarkov's going to be great again. No. The point of that rant is to just point at the discrepancy between what the fuck is happening. Are they trying to make Tarkov harder or are they trying to make it easier? Because they're making all of the fun shit in Raid when you're actually playing the goddamn game harder and more annoying while simultaneously making it easier to do everything else. And so I genuinely do not care if we go flea market or no flea market. I don't care if we keep the hideout. I don't even care if arena sticks around. It's that when you put them in those buckets and you look at it, it's just so easy to see that there's no clear, consistent vision for what the difficulty of this game is supposed to look like. And I would just love to see them find that consistent thing. And I do think along the way, like I said, they've basically made the in-raid experience ass. I think they've balanced the fun out of it. I don't think they should get rid of the weight system, but I think they should change it. I don't think they should get rid of the painkiller system, but I think they should change it. I don't think they should get rid of inertia, but I think they should change it. It's like, I wish, this is the one thing I'll say about like OG Tarkov, right? Like this is the thing I'll say about OG Tarkov is that it was more fun and more challenging. And a lot of people think those two things are mutually exclusive. Tarkov...
They are not antithetical.
Yes. People think that in order for Tarkov to be fun, and I think BSG, because of everything I just outlined, because the novelty of Tarkov is worn off and that's been perceived as easier, and because of all the shit they've done to make the game easier and harder, they think the only way to make Tarkov harder is to make it less fun and more ass. And back in the day, the reason Tarkov was harder and yet more fun was because there were no ways to skip things. You couldn't skip progressing. You couldn't make 10 million rubles by mining Bitcoin in your hideout. You couldn't make 10 million rubles by playing a different video game. You couldn't turn every single nut and bolt into just any amount of money you want. There was no way to skip it.
You had to kill 15 bears.
Yeah, in an hour.
3 hours in 3 Gregorian real world hours.
Yeah.
The timer starts now.
Yes. And so Tarkov, the in-raid experience was more fun because there were less restrictions on the player just doing what they want and expressing and playing how they want to play. But there was no shortcuts. So the game was more challenging because you had to go fucking find that key. Now, once again, I'm not saying we go back there. I'm saying we should go back to that thought process where the challenge of the game can be, I don't know, maybe having to interact with the game. And the fun from the game can also be from interacting with the game. And so I think you can keep the flea market. But if you made that your North Star, where it's like, okay, we don't want to allow for like 8 different ways for people to just skip everything. We want the, like, I think if you could keep the hideout, you could keep arena, you could keep the flea market. It would just take some like measured, thoughtful changes. Now we're way too close to the finish line for me to think that this rant or the video I'm going to make is going to change anything. I don't think it is. but I almost want to like
a Man in the High Castle alternate reality
I
timeline.
want to plant. I like genuinely. I want to just like plant my flag and get this out there and basically call the shot. Yeah, it's too late for it to change, but like this is it. This is why everyone, including BSG, is confused as to like, is it easier? Is it harder? Is it more fun? Is it less fun? There's certainly more to do, and a lot of that is more fun, and it's fun to have more things to do. But it's like, this is it. This is what's going on.
I have what I think might be the best metaphor I've ever come up with.
Yes, I might steal it and use it in my video.
Oh, yeah, then you're gonna have to do what I was just about to do, which is give credit to one of my favorite channels to watch right now. His name is Will Tennyson. No. Will Tennyson.
Okay.
He and you've been going to the gym and so you've been like kind of doing some fitness stuff a little bit. Bro, you need to watch this guy. His shit is genuinely like inspiring and also informational and also incredibly funny.
That's awesome.
He's just like unreal. And so the metaphor here is that Escape from Tarkov, it used to be Gold's Gym and now it's Planet Fitness. You go there and you can pay extra for a membership, and that membership gives you unlimited access to the spa, where you can go get massages, you go get fucking tanning. There's all kinds of fucking little snacks, amenities, all kinds of stuff that comes with this, your gym membership. On Thursdays, they bring fucking like pizza. It's like pizza night.
Yeah.
So you can go to the gym and eat pizza. They got Bagel Tuesdays, so like fuck working out, right? Because there's bagels. I'm just gonna have bagel and cream cheese. Because some people don't like the way it makes them feel, and they, I don't know, complained enough or whatever. You can't wear like muscle shirt tank tops. You're not allowed to. They've got the lunk alarm. So like, don't try too hard and try to enjoy yourself in the weight room.
Oh yeah.
Because like if you're too loud, it's not allowed.
Yep.
90% of the floor space of the fucking gym is taken up by treadmills, and 90% of the treadmills are broken.
Yeah. And
even if they weren't, imagine 30 people running on treadmills. Would you want to be in the middle of that, doing that?
Yep.
And they have like 3 Smith machines and 1 bench, and the dumbbells go up to 50 pounds. And I used to go there to lift, to get swole, to get jacked, to like bodybuild for fitness.
Yep.
And now I go there and I spend all of my time in the massaging bed and eating bagels. And then I'm just incentivized to leave because I can't do what I want in the gym.
Yep.
And they've made it annoying, time consuming, and everything gets in my way to do what I want. So now I just paid all this money for a massaging chair and pizza Thursdays.
Yep.
Tell me that every adjective, noun, and verb could be easily replaced. Yeah. Obviously replaced with like, oh, I know what you're talking about. I know. Everyone knows exactly what everything just stood for.
Yep.
There.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So like that's been my little thought experiment I've just been mulling over, is like, I feel like I finally have like words for it. You know what I mean? I finally like kind of figured out how to explain the reason for the fracture. Originally,
so you won't have to explain it 75 times a day.
Yeah. And it actually like finally helped me, once again, not that it's going to change anything, but it's like, oh, this is why I think like BSG keeps missing the mark, because they're interpreting it the same way the community is, which is like, oh, it just needs to be harder. And like, they don't see those buckets as different. It feels like they don't see the arena and hideout and the flea are ways to skip Tarkov. And so the only way they can make it difficult is like when you do have to play Tarkov, let's just make it more difficult, not more challenging, not more meaningful. And by just making it more difficult, it means when you have to engage in the game, it's less fun, which is why, I mean, that is, I feel like a prevailing sentiment that it's just less like fun, but they keep adding more ways to skip it. Like the arena just came out and it's arguably the most egregious one. And so it's like, because they don't see how those things interconnect, they make it easier to skip everything in Tarkov, so they make Tarkov harder. And then they add something that makes it easier to skip everything in Tarkov, so they're, we got to make Tarkov harder. And then you overlay the hardcore wipe, and you go, it makes sense. It makes sense. They don't see how those two things intersect, and so it's just this disjointed mess of things that make Tarkov harder but easier. Why not bosses 100%? That couldn't go wrong. That's hardcore, except that it fucking gives everybody meta gear. And then what if you just can't? What if insurance costs 7 million rubles? Why? Like, because something has to be harder. Something's got to give. So it's like, I feel like I finally unlocked it. And then you put the transparency on the projector of the hardcore wipe and you go, oh, it fits. What else could it be? If this is how they're thinking of the game, what else would a hardcore wipe have been? And I was like, oh, okay. I feel like that explained it for me.
What you've done is you've done the kind of scientific theory generation where it's like there's a million ways to explain they scammed us. They're completely incompetent. You're like, whatever. There's a million ways to explain it. The answer is almost always some slightly more complex, nuanced thing that isn't surface level, that it elegantly explains all the things. And now you can take, patch 12.4. What were the problems with it? Those 4 things. Does that? Oh, it makes perfect sense in this fucking framework.
Yeah.
And then you try to fucking. The problem is that now you want to go in and you want to criticize Planet Fitness, and everybody's going, bro, you're just a pussy. Maybe the gym's too hard for you. Maybe you should just not go to the gym. Maybe the gym isn't for you, my dude.
Yeah.
It's like, no, motherfucker. I want to lift more than 50 pounds, bitch.
Yeah. And we saw that with the hardcore wipe.
And that's so convincing. I know coverage for me. This metaphor fails.
I want 100-pound dumbbells. And we saw that with the people that were really excited about the hardcore wipe. Genuinely, by the way, I'm not judging at all. Like, I wish we had more time between now and 1.0 that we could try the hardcore wipe again, but like a nuanced one. Like, I'm not anti-hardcore wipe, but the people that were really excited for it originally were like that. It was like the Planet Fitness people. It was like, if you criticize the hardcore wipe at all, it was like, God damn it, the game has been easy for, it's been Tarkov for babies for you for so many years. Go play something else. This is the hardcore wipe. And then slowly and slowly they realized how like ass it was. And then they had to be confronted with that. And then they just got sad because it could have been sick, because the hardcore wipe could have been sick. But the thesis of the video is Tarkov didn't need a hardcore wipe. Tarkov's always been hardcore. It just is hardcore. Like, the nature of it is hardcore. It needs to be fun. And you need to play it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And the video is basically going to end on that. It's like fun and hardcore. Fun and hard aren't mutually exclusive. So it just like, it's scuffed.
Sky's basketball and Tarkov is Planet Fitness.
Yes, the Sky's basketball and Tarkov is Planet Fitness. Certainly.
Oh my God, bro. At some point, we need to get. At some point, we'll have fucking podcast merch. Okay. When I like have the studio all done and I'm back into like, super inspired giga content creation mode. Exactly 1 year from now, I'm gonna get merch again. We're gonna have to have the Skies basketball T-shirts.
Yes,
be like
bro.
I'm sure there's some way of taking Planet Fitness logo and combining it with the Escape from Tarkov logo.
Yes, and, that'd be a great one.
Yeah,
that'd be a great one.
Planet Shit Cake.
Planet Shit Cake would go hard, bro. Would go hard. Well, dang, I mean, we're at 2 hours. I'm sorry I hijacked the whole cast this time for Tarkov stuff. Is there any other?
I talked for 45 minutes about Twitter, brother.
True.
We talked. I mean, we talked for 2 hours about Twitter, basically.
I mean, But before we call it, I'll just like read this. I forgot. Reverse just reminded me. The not to add insult to injury, but there PAX West is happening like right now or like tomorrow or something, and BSG's gonna be there. And the description of Tarkov, like when you go to the PAX thing and you click on the booth, you click on Tarkov. This is what it says. Escape from Tarkov is the benchmark. This is where the mechanics of escaping from a conflict zone came into being. It isn't just PvP or PvE. It's a world where every decision impacts your survival. Every raid is a unique scenario. You go in taking risks and come out with the spoils, or don't come out at all. Gunplay and sounds, realistic character manipulation, ballistics, advanced armor systems, bleeding's fractured. This is not just another shooter game. It's a simulation of combat in extreme conditions. Everything has a price. A mistaken raid means you lose everything. Trading, crafting, hideout, barrier, skill level, and completing tasks. These are not side objectives. They are the basis of progression. The winner is not the one who is better, but the one who lives in the world of Tarkov and understands that the intricacies have a strategic advantage.
Bro. Okay. Hold that thought. Escape from Tarkov isn't just a game. It's a full-scale, adrenaline-driven survival ecosystem where every decision matters and every raid tells its own story. Designed with uncompromising attention to detail, Tarkov blends the intensity of tactical FPS combat with the high-stakes tension of an RPG-driven economy. From hyper-realistic ballistics and weapon customization to the persistent risk of losing everything you carry, the game redefines immersion by demanding strategy, precision, and adaptability at every turn. It's not about scripted wins or linear missions. It's about mastering chaos, thriving under pressure, and carving your path in a living, breathing world where survival is the ultimate victory. Escape from Tarkov isn't just played, it's experienced. I just wrote, while you were saying that, I said, write a paragraph in a full-on cringe corporate marketing style for what makes Escape from Tarkov a game like no other.
Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Yeah. Yep.
Bro, that okay, wait. Were there any of those like double width hyphens in what you're reading? No.
There were two. Well,
did that? Oh no!
Anyways,
brother, I mean, I'm 99% sure that was ChatGPT.
Maybe
generated.
Maybe.
Oh,
I mean, there's a chance friggin' the PAX people put that into ChatGPT and filled out this page. You know what I mean? Like there's a universe where that wasn't even BSG. I just found it to be so funny. Oh yeah, I forgot at the very top it says, at Battlestate Games, we pioneered the genre of extraction shooters, which they did. It's just funny. Escape from Tarkov was the benchmark. This is where the mechanics of escaping from a conflict zone came into being. I don't know. I mean, like the Division was. I don't. It's just funny corporate marketing speak. Once again, it might not have even been them. It's just funny.
Bro. It says at Battlestate Games, we have pioneered the genre of extract. That couldn't have been the PAX people.
True.
I mean, even if it wasn't, you don't. I wouldn't let anyone be like, at Channel Veritas, we do. Like, no, you don't fucking speak for me. And I would. Oh my God. Okay, wait. I just need to look at this real quick. First roll. Bro, like, you see these motherfuckers?
Mm-hmm.
If you see that anywhere, if you see that on Twitter, you see that in Discord, you see that means someone's using ChatGPT. Okay,
They call like M dashes or something.
How? No one's typing that. No one's using like the fucking Alt-Ass 179 or whatever the hell. No one's doing that.
I don't even know how to type that.
So would you just look at it?
Genuinely, how do you type those?
There's some key command that of course now everyone's like,
yeah,
oh, I know how to do it, man. So sometimes I use it. Okay, well then, like, the only reason why you would ever use it is because you want people to think you're a bot.
yeah,
There's no other reason for anyone. And I'm like the king of hyphens.
yeah.
I will absolutely string together 7 sentences with hyphens, and that makes perfect sense to me, and I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But not some hyphens that require like a ruler, a screwdriver, and a hammer to like manufacture.
Assemble. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Well, anyways, that's the stuff. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on Tarkov and 1.0 and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. Anyways, thank you guys. Once again, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastpod, where you can get early ad-free access to these episodes, additional episodes that we film every week, and we're starting to dabble in every now and again some like Let's Play stuff. We're going to do some more Tarkov raids with Veritas, maybe even getting me and GeoGuessr. Fun stuff on the horizon. So patreon.com/thepodcastpod is going to be linked down below. Thank you guys for hanging. Love you long time, and I hope you have an amazing night.
Don't be a bot. Be a human.